This is pretty shocking. Israeli first billionaires plan to contribute about $20 million to unseat Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie from Congress. This was initially reported in a Bloomberg article and then reshared on the America First Post account. President Trump expects billionaire donors Miriam Adelson, Paul Singer, and John Paulson to contribute an additional $20 million to his campaign to unseat Representative Thomas Massie. So far, the trio have spent $2 million on attack ads against Massie. And pictured here is Miriam Adelson. She is the Israeli American billionaire, the widow of the late Sheldon Adelson. He owned many hotels and casinos all across the world. Here's the original Bloomberg article: The Strange Quest to Unseat MAGA Stalwart Thomas Massie. The article goes on and says President Donald Trump's months-long effort to find a primary challenger to Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, a fellow Republican and MAGA devotee, is the latest proof that Republicans in Washington were never truly intent on achieving the agenda they sold to voters last year. And it continues on. And for those who don't know, Thomas Massie is one of the very few Republicans. He actually has a badge on his shirt that shows on his suit that shows the growing costs of the national debt, and it's a timer that's changing in real time. He goes on, the article goes on talking about how Thomas Massie is against forever wars, and Trump sold voters on giving him another term in the White House by focusing on their fears and resentments. He promised to end America's engagement in foreign countries, to bring prices and interest rates down, yada, 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 and bring justice to the victims of Epstein. But when Trump started to pivot away from his own promises on foreign affairs and Epstein, Massie tried to use his leverage. House Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes on every vote in the House to pull him back. The article goes on and says that some billionaires are very upset with this. One of these, of course, being Miriam Adelson. The campaign will be heavily funded by 3 billionaire supporters of Trump and Israel: mega donor Miriam Adelson and hedge fund managers Paul Singer and John Paulson. So it's pretty shocking to see just how much money is going out to unseat Kentucky Representative Thomas Massie. Again, the trio financed a $2 million stream of attack ads that began running against Massie this summer. He expects the campaign to spend about $20 million more. For some Trump supporters, it's baffling development. Massie may be an iconoclast, but Trump isn't targeting him for what's going against the MAGA agenda. He's targeting Massie for doing what Trump said he would do, but didn't. So this is a pretty. I don't want to actually say the word shocking. It's pretty unfortunate, but for those who have been following along what's been going on in the Republican side of things, and specifically what Thomas Massie is going through, you'll know that this has been a long time coming. Thomas Massie is one of the very few Republicans that I would really consider America First down to his core. He is not an Israel First Republican. He was previously featured on Tucker Carlson last year now in an interview that went viral that really upset the Israel lobby for exposing them for what they are, stating that the Israel lobby has, specifically AIPAC, has AIPAC handlers that go around Congress and are basically buddies with every single Republican member of Congress, including Democrats, vast majority of Democrats as well. But he was specifically focused on Republican congressmen and basically aiding them regarding Israel policy, many of the times just pushing and having them push forward policies and vote on policies that, of course, only benefit one foreign nation, the foreign nation of Israel. So let's go ahead and see what some people on X are saying about this, because it's definitely been getting flooded with a lot of comments. It's deeply concerning that an Israeli-born citizen is dumping $20 million into removing a U.S. congressman simply for putting his country first. And people are resharing this tweet that Donald Trump wrote back in 2015. Sheldon Adelson is looking to give big dollars to Marco Rubio because he feels he can mold him into the perfect little puppet. I agree. This is probably one of the most it just like kind of slaps you in the face seeing how much Donald Trump has changed from then until now. Like I said again, Sheldon Adelson is the former husband to Miriam Adelson. He passed away a few years back. And during Trump's first term, Sheldon Adelson actually gave Trump $20 million to move the embassy, the U.S. embassy in Israel, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. When Donald Trump did, Sheldon Adelson then paid for a front cover page on the New York Times that said, "Trump, you promised, you delivered." And Trump's hand was touching the Western Wall in Israel with a kippah on. So that is a little bit about who Sheldon Adelson is. I'll do my part to make sure their money is wasted. The problem with Thomas Massie is that we don't have 530 more members of Congress exactly like him. Israel first versus America first. And there is one negative comment here. Has Massie ever had anything he has written and turned into law? I think this is a good gauge as to whether or not a congressman is effective. And then, of course, people are just like making fun of this person in the comments. Imagine there's 20 cannibals and one guy trying to convince them not to eat people. You're going, has one guy ever convinced them to eat something else? No, then F him. Let's get rid of him. Nice analogy, but I doubt he is anywhere near as important as that. You could tell this guy is definitely some sort of Israel first, has an Israel first agenda. The U.S. government, Ukraine, Israeli families, the U.S. government to American families, just flipping the middle finger. So, and it just goes on and on and on. And you could tell how much support Thomas Massie really has and how many people really stand by him. America is waking up, and unless I'm missing something, this makes Massie even more popular. Completely agree. And then, of course, here's the photo of Trump giving an award to Miriam Adelson. So here's another family that's actually, I'm going to go ahead and give him a heart. 3 votes for Thomas Massie right here. I've already filed complaints against them in their little PACs, foreign election interference and campaign finance audits. Donald Trump and his pals are not going to mess with our elections in Kentucky, which is awesome to see how many people like him. So this is kind of like, this is the name of the game. They're in Washington. People are just going to, you have basically foreign nationals that are spending billions of dollars, millions of dollars to unseat U.S. congressmen to basically hijack the U.S. Congress to make sure that they are pro-Israel and they push forward pro-Israel policies. And whenever somebody comes forward, like Candace Owens recently did in my last video I mentioned, stating that the U.S. government seems to be occupied by Zionists, somehow you have people stating that that is hate speech, of course, in order to stifle honest debate about what's really going on behind the scenes. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Again, it's just people don't seem so happy about this. I think the world really does stand with Thomas Massie, and imagine if they spent this to win toss-up seats. Republicans deserve to lose the House. If this obviously is something that ends up going through. Oh, somebody wrote something more here. Additionally, Paulson gave the PAC $250,000. Adelson's Preserve America PAC offered $750,000. And Singer gave Mega Kentucky $1 million. Mega Kentucky is run by Trump political lieutenants Chris LaCivita, a co-campaign manager to Trump's 2024 campaign. And here we see, it seems like we have some IRS filings or whatnot of the receipts of the donations. So we just basically know that more people, FEC filing reports that they actually gave more money, it seems, than what was actually initially reported. What will they expect from Trump for spending this kind of money on a single House seat? The American people need to make sure their money is wasted. I completely agree. So Massie is a living founding father. The hell are we doing? Because he's not Israel first. People are waking up. It seems that the Israel first agenda in the United States is really starting to crumble, and it's making the billionaires really nervous, which is why they're spending so much money. But what we've seen in New York when it comes to the New York mayoral elections, regardless of whether you're on the left or the right, what you can tell about Zohran Mamdani's elections is that it really bothered Israel first billionaires. And they spent millions of dollars, millions. I believe Michael Bloomberg spent $8 million alone, and Bill Ackman spent 1.5 million alone to make sure that Zohran Mamdani does not get elected, while they backed Andrew Cuomo. And ultimately, that never worked out for them, because when people are determined for something, again, regardless of your politics towards Zohran Mamdani, they were actually able to get him elected. So I believe that what's going to happen here is, if Thomas Massie really does have all the support that it seems like he has, their money hopefully will all go in vain. If you found this video interesting, make sure to click the subscribe button below, and I would appreciate some support in super chats. Helps keeps these videos going. Otherwise, I will see you guys later.